retailing products. What does that mean? Our business is taking products from near life to different consumers. That is really what our business is. But we need to divide our time between selling products to our own customers and then teaching others to do the same by sponsoring them into the business and teaching them to do what we do. So the first thing I wanted to chat with you about retailing products, a few ideas. I think you can adjust this according to your needs, according to where you live, according to the profile of your customers. First one, retailing products require you to have product knowledge. And I think if you've been attending the training, every Thursday evening training, I think you should have a fairly good idea of what our products do to address the different conditions or different situations our customers are going through. So, first one, product knowledge. You need to know what our products do and what benefit our customers have. The other thing you need to have is listening to customers. Listening to customers simply means that the people you meet, your relatives, your friends, your neighbors, your people at work, the people you meet in public places, make a habit of listening to people and paying attention to what people say. Paying attention to what people say will give you an opening to introduce the business to them. For example, a relative of yours is visiting or a friend, and they tell you what they're going through. I've had this leg of mine which has given me a big challenge for a very long time, or my dad has had problems with his heart, or he's had problems with the prostate for a long time. We don't know what to do. That gives you an opening to ask more questions before you recommend the products to them. I find that when you have somebody who is sharing with you about the health challenges that they are going through, it's important not to rush to give a solution. It's important to ask more questions about what they're going through. After you've found out fairly good information about what they're going through, then you go to the next step of recommending the products that they need to resolve their situation. And the third part is keeping in touch with your customers. You keep in touch because the customers want to know that you not only want to sell the product, but you also care about them. You care about what they're going through. And they will also give you an indication on when they can want to make a reorder of the products they ordered from you. And then the fourth one is get to know your customers, get to know who they are, get to know something about their family, get to know what their favorite things are. Once a while, if they've been buying products from you for a long time, 3 or 4 products, give them an additional products. For example, give them a small omega-3, the 60 capsules, or give them the small 3NN. That way, the customer, when they think about spending money on supplements, they'll think about you. So those are the simple ideas of how to retail products. Retailing products simply means you service people who are not in the business with our products. Then the next thing I wanted to share with you is how to build structure. If you've read the compensation plan of Neolife, you will realize that the real income where you really start earning a lot of money is when you start building other directors in your group. There are 3 or 4 different types of commissions. The first is called the sales volume bonus. That is a bonus you earn from people who are not directors in your group, people who haven't reached 4,000 PV. The second is leadership development bonus. That is, you're paid a percentage of the directors that you build in an organization. The third one is network development bonus. That is when you become a president's team member and you're paid a percentage of your entire business. Okay, so you need to know how to maximum or to get to those levels of income. How do you do that? You do that by building structure. What does building structure mean? Building structure simply means you need to balance between going wide and building depth. What is going wide? Going wide is when you sponsor people directly under you. The idea is to go 4 to 6 wide very, very quickly. How do you do that? Excuse me. How do you do that? You share the business, build a name list of 200 or more people, learn to invite people to look at the business by asking the right question, show them the business plan, and learn to tell your story and then follow up and close a prospect. That is how you build wealth. And the more people the faster you build your width, the faster your business grows. But an idea that I would like to share with you, when you've gone wide, make sure the people you've sponsored also sponsor other people before you get new people. Why is that important? That is important because then you begin to build volume. You start to duplicate yourself in the people you sponsor. Let me say you sponsor 3 or 4 people this month. Then when you sponsor them, teach them how to get others in their team. How do you do that? Work with them on their name list. Go with them to show the business to their prospects until you sponsor 1 or 2 people under each of your new distributors. That way they observe what you have done, and then they start copying step by step on what you do. Will they do it immediately? Some yes, some no. Some take time, some are slow, some are fast. So be aware that the people you go build width with, you also need to build depth with. What is depth? Depth is building people under the people you brought into the business. What is the idea of the goal? Is to go 12 to 14 deep in your organization. That means you need to work on the taproot. Taproot simply means the newest person in each leg. You see, how does a tree absorb nutrients? The tree absorbs nutrients through the roots, through the deepest parts of the roots. That's how a tree absorbs nutrients. The same in our business. The newest people in our business are the ones who create momentum and volume in our business. So teach each person to go wide and work with the willing. This is very important. Sometimes you might want so much for somebody to succeed, but they're not ready to commit themselves. So work with the willing. Draw your structure. Take a piece of paper, an A3 or A2 paper, draw your structure. If you sponsor, let me say in this example, you sponsored 6 people. That means you've gone 6 wide. These people you've gone 6 wide, teach them to go 3 deep in each leg. In this example, the person on the top right corner, you help them to sponsor 2. Those 2 you have to sponsor 2. You'll see that leg has got 7 people. If you keep doing this to the other 6, you build a director volume. And that's how you go wide. What is the goal eventually? The eventually is to go 12 deep on each of these legs. And the reason why you need to get 3 legs to work on, you will have to sponsor between 14 to 16 people before you get 3 serious people. Because not everybody, in fact, if you sponsor 3 or 4 people who are all serious, before a short time, all these serious people eventually become directors. Then you don't have volume in your nursery. You need 3 kinds of people in your business. The leaders, the people who are building the business to become directors quickly. Then you need the plodders, people who sponsor 1 or 2 people after 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Then you need the customers, the people who join the business just to buy products at a discount. You need all those 3 types of people in your business to have a stable structure. Okay? Something about building structure is focus on what duplicates. That simply means simplify your business. Make it so simple that person who will join the business this week can do what you are doing. How do you do that? Help them to talk to their prospects, help them to explain the business, teach them how to tell their story. That's it. And a very important thing is teach them to use the tools, because the tools is what actually replaces you as a leader. The tapes, the CDs, the videos, the magazines, the brochures, all those things are tools that helps you to grow your business. Then develop the right attitude. If you want your business to grow, make sure you have the right attitude. If you're a person who complains, guess what kind of people you have in your team? People who complain. If you have a person who always looks for excuses, you'll get the same kind of people. All right. So aim at developing discipline rather than motivation. Motivation starts you on the journey to success. Discipline is what keeps you going. All right. A very important thing also, do not make others extraordinary to let you off the hook. That simply means don't go to functions only to cheer the people who go on stage. Go to functions and make an effort, make a decision that so and so has gone on stage now. Next time it's my turn. Okay? Cheer yourself also. Then keep your eyes in the future and do not pay attention to your mind. I read this once and I didn't quite understand what it meant until I thought about it later. You see, your mind or your brain is meant to keep you safe. Number two, your mind or your brain always takes the shortest and the quickest way to resolve anything. Number three, it maximizes the use of energy. Sorry, let me repeat that. It makes you use as little energy as possible. That means the efficient use of energy. So when you're doing the business, your mind easily tells you to always take the shortest cut, the shortest route. So don't pay attention to your mind. Pay attention to your goals. Pay attention to your dreams. Then have an accountability mirror. Just be accountable to yourself every evening. Ask yourself, okay, today, what have I done to build my business? All right? And then last time we spoke about some of the skills you need to develop in people skills. We talked about the need to remember people's names. Very important. We talked about when you're having a discussion, make sure you find out what the other person likes and find out about more information about the topic so that you can have a good conversation. Today, I want to speak to you about three things. And this is about argument. I think we've mentioned in the previous discussion is never argue with the prospect. Because the more you argue, the more they insist they're right. The only way to win an argument is not to start one. Why is that important? That is important because in our nature, we always want to be right. We always want to have the last laugh. We always want to win an argument. So when you start an argument with a prospect or a distributor or somebody, the tendency is for both parties to dig into their argument. I was reading about a gentleman who asked a lady, I think they were office mates. So he asked the lady, how do you spell river? So the lady says, river, very simple, R-I-V-E-R. So the gentleman told her, okay, put the D in front of river. What is it? So the lady thought for a while and said, there's no word like that. There's no word called river. I've never heard. I mean, I've been to college. I've never had, there's no word called river. So the gentleman asked her again, spelled river, R-I-V-E-R. Put D in front of it. What is it? There's no word like that. I mean, I'm educated. I know what that. There's no word called river. So they argued for about 5 minutes. Then the gentleman asked, what do you call somebody who drives a car? Then she thought for a minute and says, driver. And the argument ended there. You see, somebody can be completely wrong, but the fact that you're arguing, they will continue arguing because they want to be right. So the only way to stop, to avoid an argument is not to start one. 2, show respect to other people's opinion even when they're wrong. How do you do that? Don't point out what they're wrong. Just say, I have a different opinion. If you're arguing with somebody about a specific issue and you can see they're actually wrong, when you tell somebody, oh, you are wrong, you will always have an argument that nobody wins. So show respect for other person's opinion, especially when they're wrong, by not pointing it out. Just say, I have a different opinion. Saying you have a different opinion does not say they are wrong. You're telling them they are wrong. They could be wrong, but learn how to respect people's opinion, even when they are wrong. And the last is, when you are wrong, admit quickly and effectively. That you will find out, people will actually begin to enjoy being around you. When you are wrong, admit quickly and emphatically that you may be wrong, you have seen it differently. And that really helps us to have better relationship with people. So the 3 skills I would like you to think about and practice in the coming week is: the only way to win an argument, don't start one. 2, show respect for the other person, even if they are wrong. Number 3, when you're wrong, admit quickly and emphatically. You will find that it really helps. People really appreciate when you are wrong and you actually admit that you are wrong. Then the last thing I want to discuss about our business is patience in building this business. I was thinking about this yesterday in the afternoon, about the difference between a microwave and a cooking pot. I remember as a child, each child had a turn to light up the fire in the morning for cooking breakfast. It was actually a ceremony. You would have, in East Africa, we call it a jiko. It would have an underplace where you put newspapers, and then you put charcoal on top of it. There's a grill. You take it outside the house, and then you light the newspapers, and you have to keep fanning it until the charcoal catches fire and it is hot. Then you bring it back to the house for cooking. It was actually a ceremony. It requires some bit of patience because when I was in primary school, the school was about 5 minutes walk from our house. So the person who would be cooking would wake up at 6, light the fire. By 6:30, it would be ready. By 7, we'd have breakfast. 7:30, we walk to school. That's a cooking pot. These days, we have a microwave. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, the meat, whatever you want to heat is heated up. In this business, I would encourage you, don't develop the microwave mentality. Don't develop the microwave mentality where you don't enjoy the process of building your business. You join the business and tomorrow you want to be a director. Tomorrow you want to earn $1,000, $2,000 a month. It doesn't happen that way. Think about a cooking pot. It's a process. It's a ceremony. Think about the matchstick as the dream that gives you fire in your heart. Think about the newspaper that you put under the charcoal as the motivation that you have, the events that you attend, the people around you who encourage you to build your business. Think about the charcoal as the energy you put into the business, looking for other distributors, that because of their excitement, you pass on to them the same excitement to build a dream. It's a process. It's a ceremony. And if you do it rightly, you will enjoy this business. In fact, when you become a director, wild team member, and you go on stage, you will enjoy the process that you have gone through to build this business, because people will ask you to tell your story and you tell them the challenges that you have had. If you haven't had a negative prospects, you are not building the business. If you haven't gone through a difficult time, you are not building the business. So, ladies and gentlemen, I pray that you develop patience in this business, develop the cooking pot mentality rather than having a microwave mentality. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you very much for spending time with Betty and myself this evening. And I hope some of the things we've shared will help you grow your business to the next level. Thank you, good night, and God bless.